As we close in on the end of 2025, and you look at the photo you can see on the screen and think, holy fucking shit. Once again, another year on the bounce. I've royally abused my body through my own poor choices and habits and think, fuck's sake, this was the year I was going to square it away and I didn't. Fear not. This video is for you. This is a result that has just come in from one of our members. 25% down to the point of getting abs. So I'm just going to give it to you straight up, raw and front. Give you all the information you need so you can apply it to yourself and to your own miserable existence going into the next year. So if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Tom Sergey. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this and we just speak about them online. I am not God. You may think so, but surprisingly enough, I am not. We just get results. I speak about how we got them, and then you can take them and apply them to your own life. So, title of today's video, how we're going to go from 25% body fat to getting abs. Let's fucking send it. How we're going to do this, we're going to speak about the setup, what you need to do, how and when to make changes, and then obviously they are what you'll know as tactics. I'll give you the principles and the mindset underneath to allow you to stay on course because, I mean, deep down, let's be honest, you probably actually know how to get in shape. You just don't have the right mindset to do so, and that's why things do not change. But fear not, I'm going to change that in this video. So, setup. First thing you want to do is take your photos from the front, side, and back. These are obviously just the two from the front and the back for now, and weigh yourself in. We can see this guy coming in 25% body fat. You motherfuckers in the comments love to disagree with me and say certain what else. Feel free. Tell me what you think he is. See if you think we agree or we are the same. But that's where he's at. 88 kg. Starting calories, 2156, 10k steps, 20 minutes of cardio daily at the heart rate 120 to 130. And we're using something that's non-impact for that. We ran with a 5-day training split, push-pull legs, rest day, chest and back, arms and delts. If you watched any videos before, you'll know that is the main split I use for most of our people. So now let's put this into your info, how you can apply this to your own life. If someone is around 25% body fat, when you estimate their maintenance calories, which there are many calculators online, if you pause this video and go and Google it right now, you'll be able to find exactly what your maintenance is. You want to sit at around 500 lower, because it's still, like, when you're 25% body fat, like, let's be honest, like, you are fat, you are carrying a lot of body fat around the midsection. You can go a little bit more lower and a little bit more aggressive to see that drop off. If you're sat, I always say, if you're sat in between like 18, 19, 20, don't sit just below maintenance, about a 200 drop, but 25%, go at a 500 drop. When you work out your macros, don't go off 1 gram per pound of body weight, although that's a very good universal rule, but when you're 25% body fat, not all of your weight needs protein, just your lean mass. So you're going to take your lean mass, which you've worked out from your body fat, minus your scale weight, and that's going to give you your lean mass. Times that figure by 2.4, and that's the amount of grams of protein you need. Set the rest of the target, the 20% out, the rest of the target for your fats, and then the rest of your calories are going to go towards carbs, and then you're going to keep them at that. That's how you're going to set up your nutrition. That's the first and foremost and most important part. Now, when you want to go through the plan, the first thing you need to do is track your progress for 7 days. Track the food you eat via MyFitnessPal, so set the calorie target that you've been told to, with the proteins, the macros, and then stay within that. Do not go outside it. Walk 10k steps and track that for the week. Do your 20 minutes cardio on something that's non-impact. Track and record that. Sleep 8 hours. Log your scale weight, obviously, and then your photos. Now, at the end of the week, one of 3 things would have happened. The first thing, you dropped off a kilogram, perfect, don't change anything. The second thing, you did everything you were supposed to, but you didn't see the progress. And this will happen down to one of 2 reasons. Either the deficit is not big enough, or you cheated somewhere along the lines. Let's say, for argument's sake, you followed everything. It was week 1, you were motivated, you stuck to plan. Now what you need to do is look at creating the deficit bigger. Now I always say, push your output first, pull from food later. And the reason I say that is, if you take your food too low too soon, you're not going to have enough energy to drive performance in the gym. Therefore, you're not going to build or retain any tissue. Therefore, you're just like a smaller, softer version of you, which isn't pretty, obviously, when we get down to that level. So you want to keep your food as high as you can for as long as you can. So then I would say push an extra 10 minutes of cardio daily. Now, initially, you may start on 20 minutes of cardio daily, then go to 30, then go to 40. The next time you're going to go to 50, Just look, is it going to disrupt your routine drastically? Because then if it is, then fine. Look at one of two options now. Either increase the intensity in which you're doing the cardio. So instead of 120 to 130, go 130 to 140. Instead of doing it on an incline treadmill walk, push it to something like a Stairmaster or a cross trainer where the intensity is higher. Or what you can do is pull from food. Go 150 calorie for a drop to begin with, because if you're 25% body fat, your overall calories that you're starting on are not that high, so you don't need to pull them drastically. That'd still be like best part of 10% that you're pulling down from that first target. Now, pull from the fats first. Why I say that is you will get a lot of calories out versus the amount of volume of food that you're pulling from. If you pull from the carbs first, it's going to take volume out the diet, it's going to take fiber out the diet, and it's also going to take energy that you will need for performance in the gym. Obviously, it will get to a point where you've only got so much fats left, and then you'll end up needing to pull from carbs anyway. But these are your first moves that you're going to make. Because as soon as you've made that change, and this is going to take you like a 15, 16 weeks to pull off that much amount of body fat which you need to. Let's say if you need to go 25% to 10%, pretty much going to need to pull 15 kg off the frame. If you make that change early, you've got to stick with it for the rest of the duration. So you're best off leaving the cards in your top pocket and only deploying them when you absolutely must have to. When it comes to cardio, one tip I will give you, don't do something that is going to increase appetite or drastically send fatigue through the roof. So that's why I tell you to do something that's non-impact. If you go swimming, it's non-impact, but it will send your appetite through the roof and you're going to have a real miserable time of trying to stay on it. If you go out running, it's not bad. You can do it like once a week, but if you're doing it daily, your joints are going to get battered. You're going to accumulate fatigue, and then your gym floor performance will drop off as well. So that's also not a win. Now, all you're going to do here is just keep repeating the process until you hit 10%. Motherfuckers will try and make out that some magical thing needs to happen for you to drop off this weight. It isn't. It's simple. You track your data for 7 days. If you didn't drop a kilogram, then make a change. And then track again for 7 days. And I guarantee you've seen that drop off. If you haven't, then make another change. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, and then you will get down towards the goal. There's nothing sexy, there's nothing fancy about this process. It's just motherfuckers can't stick to it because they get bored too quickly. And that's like, we can give you the tactics. If you don't fix the mindset, you'll still fuck it up. You just won't be that person that can stick to this for the longest of time. So the tactics is void. I'm telling you now, I've done this countless times. This is like the 40th result we've done this year. It is simple. The ability to get a result is just your ability to stick to something that is simple and boring, and you will get to the end goal. Now, what we'll do now is go into the mindset stuff, because that's what you actually need. That's what you actually really came here for, and that's what's going to get results. So the first thing you want to understand is you need to stack rocks. Let's draw this out for you now. For the longest of time, we'll draw two baskets out here on this line. And let's call this basket on the left, this is the old version of you. And we'll go, this basket on the right can be the new version of you. Now, for the longest of time, you have stacked rocks in this basket here. The rocks will be known as your habits. This is staying up late. This is eating processed foods. This is not training. This is skipping sessions. This is fucking sitting on the couch all day. This is wanking your back out and watching Netflix and not doing anything productive. And then let's say you've got you go for a walk on a Sunday with your fucking family or some shit, and you put that in there. Now, if you were to try and get in shape, it will feel like you're swimming upstream, because every time you try and make progress, your body will be like, oh fuck, we're not used to this is uncomfortable, and you will snap back to the old version of you, because for the longest of time you've got all this baggage weighing you down when you're trying to make this progress. This is why you'll see people that will start something for the first time, they'll get 2 to 3 weeks in it, and they'll just sack it, like, because they are not that person. They've done this many habits for this amount of time. That's just how they see themselves. That's how their mates see them. That's how their family sees them. And they always confirm to that person, no, you are this person, because here's all the information you've given to us. And then, so if you've got all your outside people telling you, you are this way, and your own brain telling you, this is what we're used to, or this is what's comfortable, no fucking wonder you can't make any change to something. It's like, what were you expecting? And that's why it will forever feel like you're swimming upstream. It'll feel like you're trying to run with the fucking shackles on, and that's why people never make any progress. The only way you can truly get around this is you must remove the rocks out of this basket. So these are obviously your habits. The quickest and the easiest thing to do is to do less. I can tell you all these fancy things to do. Most people's problems will be solved by just cutting out a few bad habits, getting an extra hour's sleep and another litre of water within a day. So you want to remove the bad habits that you do. So nice and simple. Look through your day, audit what you're doing, and remove the things that are not serving you. It doesn't need to be complicated or fancy. You know what they are, let's be honest. So you can just delete them out of your life. Then, simultaneously to that, you will start to add in just a few things. On a Tuesday and on a Sunday, you meal prep for the week. Done. Easy. You walk 10,000 steps a day, you train just 3 times, and that's it. And you run with that for 4 weeks. You don't do anything fancy, you don't try and massively change things around. And then you'll start to stack new rocks in the new basket towards you. And then after a few weeks of doing that, they then become who you are and how you then see yourself. You must remember your habits are a reflection of you. And an analogy I want to give you is a hot coal rock line. So this line here denotes hot coal rocks. If I was to push you onto this, you would jump off because it's fucking hot and painful and you'll burn your fucking feet. So if that were to happen and you were to jump off really quick, what this line here denotes is your standard that you're willing to accept for something. So this line here can denote what your standard is for how clean your room is. Past a certain point, you'll be like, no, enough is enough. We must clean this now because this is just way past the standard that I'm willing to accept. The same will go for if your income was to drastically drop. You'd be like, whoa, we need to sort this out. Like, we can't even pay our bills. We must get this back to where it should be. It will go for, like for me personally, I'll get a haircut every 7 days. Past that, I'm like, this is just past the standard I'm willing to accept. The problem is most people will drop below that standard and then they'll happily get just back to their original baseline where they're comfortable with. The reason why people don't make solid, like good change in their life is that this bar is just set down here and they're okay with it. The only difference between you and the people you probably look up to that you watch on TV is their bar is like up here. If they're not driving around in a fancy car in some flash face and eating like sick food, they're like, what the fuck is this? We're down with the peasants. We need to sort this shit out. And that's their only difference between where they are and where you are. It's just simply what you're willing to accept. And the sad thing is most people's standard just so low, they're willing to accept being 25% body fat, eating processed foods, not really training, just being like, it is what it is, isn't it? When it obviously isn't what it is. But that's the difference. And that's why if you don't fix these bottom parts here, your whole foundation is fucked. You can try and apply this, you'll get a week in and you just won't stick to it. So do this work first to allow yourself to make the progress along the way. So tips moving forward, increase your baseline of what you're willing to accept. Be fucking angry that you're fat and then set the goal to change it. Remove the garbage, the excess that's weighing you down, that's making you swim upstream, and then slowly integrate the new habits into your life, which, funnily enough, are these things here that we mentioned in part 1. Now stack a few weeks of progress towards that, and you will then become that individual, and you will start to swim downstream towards the goal because we've changed the balance in which these scales are sitting on. After a few weeks of progress goes by, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, you're cooking on gas at that point. You're seeing the progress, you're seeing the rewards, and eventually you will get down to this point here, which our boy did as well. To be fair, same principle. A few weeks in, and obviously this is where I come in. I'm like in your ear week in, week out, being like, no, motherfucker, you're not going to do that. Eat exactly like this. Check in with me on this date. Stop doing that. Change this. Do this. And then we build momentum before you know it. Like, I barely have to do anything. They're cooking on gas, and then they finish 10% body fat towards the end. So that's the approach you want to take. Don't pay lip service to the back end. Otherwise, you can try the front end, but you won't achieve it. So that's my 2 cents on how you're going to go from 25% to 10% body fat. If you find it useful, do the honourable thing. Subscribe to the fucking channel. And if not, I'll see you in the next video.